Kevin McAllister's a prick. Feels so good to be able to say that, you know? Feels so good to be able to just definitively put that out there. Kevin McAllister is a prick. Don't like him. Don't care for him. No. He's just an asshole. He's just a little shit. And then he gets away with being a little shit because he's doing it to robbers when he gets to the really violent stuff, you know? But no, he's an asshole. You're an asshole, Kevin. And I see why everyone hates you. At the same time, your family are pretty much mostly assholes as well. This is generally what we're trying to figure out today. Which Christmas characters are, like, actually assholes? And I mean, frankly, it's a lot more than you'd expect. We've only got 65 here. I only put in so many versions of Santa, for instance, from different films, because they're always goody two-shoes, nice guys, aren't they? A lot of the time, yeah, there are like 50, 60 Santas we could have put in, you know? But that would have got tiresome, and I would have forgot where some of them were from, and it would have been a mess. So I only put in so many. Same as I only allowed myself to put in so many characters from Love Actually. Or The Muppets Christmas Carol. These types of things, you know what I mean? But there's a good list here. There's a good number. And we're just going to start by saying Kevin McAllister is a cunt. He's terrible. He's awful. I hate him. Yep. Kevin McAllister's just a jackass the whole time. The whole time is just being a little shit. If his family had stuck around for Christmas, he probably would have tried to entrap and murder them. It just so happened that his murderous tendencies were directed in the right place at these evil bandits, okay? Alright. Glad we're all clear on that. So he's an asshole. He's horrible. Really, truly. Oh wait, William. The snowman is too endearing for the lowest. The snowman? Yeah, he's here. We've got him, we've got Sam the Snowman, we've got Frosty the Snowman. They're everywhere. Right. No, you're right. The snowman's not going on the lowest. As a character, there's nothing... He brings the kid out after bedtime. That's not very nice. Come on, he's not that bad at the end. What, Kevin? Yeah, he's not that bad at the end. For that, like, one day where he goes, oh, yeah, actually, maybe I do like having my mom back. And then what happens in the sequel? He's reverted right back to being a little shit. What's that all about? He's immediately the next year. 1 year. And he's back to being a dick. Fortunately, we can blame some of it on the parents. And I have both parents here. I have Buzz here. I have Uncle Frank here. And, I mean... The question isn't... Do any of them deserve to be in the F tier? It's... Do any of them not deserve to be in the F tier? They're all terrible people. His dad runs away from his son at the airport in the second one. Just leaves him behind completely in the first. Thinks more about, oh, did we leave the oven on? Did we leave the back door locked? Like, as far as I'm aware, they have 2 kids. You know, of all the cousins and other people that were coming on that trip with them, a big family, only Buzz and Kevin are their children. So these parents both really suck. Like, they are awful. His mom, at least, does go all the way back for him, but she's very screechy and annoying, I find, in general. So, I'm not going to put his mother on the bottom tier. I will put his dad there. And Buzz. He's just an asshole. He's just sadistic. He's just a jerk. And Uncle Frank. He's just a freeloading prick. At least Peter, like, I don't like him, but he pays for everything. His brother Frank, what a dick. So maybe we'll forgive Peter to that degree. His mom, better. Probably higher, right? Still forgets her child. Twice. I mean, but could be worse. Let's not forget that Harry and Marv could have died. Yeah. And they were trying to break into his house, so like, in a court of law, I mean, he was a kid, so he would have been judged in a different court than adults, but in a court of law, Kevin probably could have gotten away with that. In the sequel, he does lure them somewhere and start beating the shit out of them. He was not under any threat. They could not find him in New York City. He went looking for them. So really, at that point, he literally could have just called the police that time. Kevin McAllister is sadistic. He wanted. That's the sequel, at least. He wanted to hurt them. He wanted to cause people pain. He was taking pleasure in causing these guys pain. So, evil. Yeah, no, evil. Like, at any point, he could have just called the police. First one, he was defending his house. Okay, in some strange, twisted, redneck sense of justice, you could get away with that. Sequel? Nah. Could have just called the police, told them exactly when and where they were going to be robbing. Sorted. Nope, didn't do it. So that's fine. Their choice for the Silver Surfer should do the voice for the Pacer test. Okay. What's the Pacer test? Okay. You should totally review the Amazon Prime miniseries Santa Inc. Oh, I haven't seen anything about that. That sounds interesting. Greatest Showman live action timecast. Thank you. Ironically, Mrs. McAllister is played by Catherine O'Hara, who voiced Sally in Little Nightmare Before Christmas. She did. True, she's on this list a couple of times. There's a few people who have been in multiple Christmas movies, and it's easy to forget. Like Martin Freeman. Nativity, Love Actually. Keira Knightley now. She was in Silent Night. That just came out this year. If you haven't seen that, then don't. Just don't. Alan Rickman. Die Hard and Love Actually. Two of the best there are. Let's talk about Harry. Harry from Love Actually. I haven't put every Love Actually character on here. I was just worried that I wouldn't have enough F tiers. Alan Rickman totally gotta go there. Just a bastard. Yeah, just a run-of-the-mill bastard. Yep. Tries to give other characters romantic advice as well. At the beginning, that's like his first scene. He's giving advice to the girl to ask out the guy. And then, yeah, nope, doesn't matter. Do you remember your choice for the Silver Surfer? Was it Keanu Reeves? It might have been Keanu Reeves. Yeah, it might have been. Martin Freeman was also in the Christmas movie Stickman. Oh, I have not seen that. Oh. Steve from Arthur Christmas is going to be interesting as he's not bad, but he's not good either. True, but we do have middle tiers for that sort of thing. I should put someone on each tier. We've kind of focused on the negative here so far. Well... This boy's annoying from the Polar Express. He annoys me. He's not necessarily a bad person, but I'll put him on like D. Oh, it was Keanu Reeves. Wow, I'm kind of surprised I remembered that. A C. A C. There's not a lot of like net like zero characters that aren't really good or evil. Maybe Kevin's mom, you know. The whole point of the film is that she's a bad mother, but then she really puts in the effort to kind of make it up. The dad does not. In either film. No, he just chills. That's why he's worse. My birthday is this Wednesday. Oh, happy birthday. Wow, that is very close to Christmas. Wow. Happy birthday in advance for that. A B. A B. Who's a B tier character? I mean, we can't put Gizmo low, right? We can't put Gizmo low. We love Gizmo. There's nothing wrong with him. He never turns evil. We'll put him on a B. Because he doesn't do anything. Like, he's cute and cuddly. That doesn't make him net good. It makes him net a pussy. He doesn't, he just cowers. I think he does help out right at the very end a little bit. You know what? That's fair. I think he does. I'll give him an A. I'm not putting him on S, though. Nah. We've got the main four characters from The Holiday. How good or bad are they in general? I mean, Kate Winslet, she was just kind of in love with this guy, trapped in love with this dickhead guy. I didn't put his character on, actually, the dickhead, Rufus Sewell. Didn't put him on. She, as a person, is fine. There's nothing wrong with her. I give her like a B. I don't think she's like the best person in the world. She's tragically trapped in love with someone. That's sad. Sad for you. He kills Stripe twice. Gizmo kills Stripe twice. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. He can have an A. It's fine. Cameron Diaz's character, again, maybe a bit worse at the start. Like, she comes off as more disagreeable than Kate Winslet does. Kate Winslet's just kind of sad. Cameron Diaz is angry. I guess there's no real reason that makes her a worse person. She was cheated, so she should be angry. It's probably pretty much the same. Yeah, they probably just deserve the same tier. It's hard to separate them out by a whole tier. I bet you didn't get much presents on either day. Yeah, not like that's important, but anyway. Yeah. Tough having a birthday that close to Christmas. Oh, God, Mr. Poppy. Right, let's talk about this. Let's talk about Nativity. I hate Nativity. Well, I don't hate Nativity. I don't hate the first Nativity film. There's nothing wrong with the first Nativity film. If you keep going and watch the rest of the Nativity films, there's a lot wrong with Nativity. A lot. And most of it is because Mr. Poppy is the most violently annoying character in the world. And constantly, his main goal is child endangerment. That is the number one thing he does. There's never in a film been a worse teacher in the world, ever. I'm going to put him immediately on F. I hate him. Oh, God, I hate him. Is North from Guardians here? He's not. I put Jack Frost here. A lot of films I just kind of threw in like the lead character without going deep into it. Plus, we've got a lot of versions of Santa here across the list, so I thought, we'll just leave him. Right. Well, we can put Tiny Tim on S, right? As a general character in all the versions of every Christmas Carol related adjacent film you've ever seen, the character of Tiny Tim is just adorable and beloved and a paragon of all that is good. He's the thing that really turns Scrooge around, right? Everyone, like Scrooge himself dying at the end, like, that's like a nail in the coffin, but like, he got in the coffin when he saw Tiny Tim was dying. And then died. That's what broke the camel's back. That's what made Scrooge suddenly decide he was going to be a good person, okay? I don't care what anyone says. So that's because Tiny Tim is such a perfect paragon of good. Where would he be on this list? What, North from Guardians? Like an A? Like an A, right? Like all of those Guardians are like very good people, naturally. Well, people. Fairies, bunnies, whatever. The conductor from the Polar Express. This is difficult because depends on what fan theories you listen to. Like, Tom Hanks' every character basically is the conductor. Every character, it's different versions of the same character. The boy grows up to be the conductor. There was also a fan theory that said because there was like an Easter egg in the Polar Express where it was powered by the same thing that powers the DeLorean in Back to the Future. Somebody thought that like Marty McFly's kid grew up and Doc gave him like a time train and he became the conductor. There's a lot of fan theories out there about all this. Whatever he is, he's kind of a jerk. He's sticking to a schedule. Like a C, right? Like a C. I don't like the Polar Express that much, but yeah, I'll give him like a C. Who do you think is the most endearing person ever? That's hard, right? And that's very difficult. Who's the most endearing person ever? I mean, as like a character, like Santa Claus is meant to be the true embodiment of all that's good, right? Like if I had to pick the most endearing character from this list, it'd be Kris Kringle, right? From Miracle on 34th Street. That version of Santa is just so endearing. Even when he starts beating people while provoked. That's like both those characters, actually. These have both got to be S tier, right? They're the Miracle on 34th Street characters are the most endearing. And that's kind of why it works so phenomenally well. It doesn't feel overly cheesy. It's quite like a serious-natured film. And yet it's the most Christmassy a film has ever been. I think. I still think Klaus is like North before he became a Guardian. Yeah, I'd buy into that theory a lot. For sure. Yeah, I could see that. Because when the Guardians, like, they don't remember their past lives. So, like, the accent that North has in Rise of the Guardians kind of makes sense. Because he would just pick up that accent He has to speak in some way when he becomes a Guardian, you know? So why would he necessarily speak in the same way he did while alive? See what I'm saying? Yeah. The flux capacitor is what it's called. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know why I forgot that. That hurts. What else? We've got something on every tier now. So right. George Bailey. I mean, George Bailey's a really, really good guy. The Little Drummer live action fancast. Okay. Jasper is a great character in Klaus. He starts off rude and selfish, but he changes as he gets closer to Klaus and gains empathy. True. Like every Christmas movie lead character, right? Like, there's so many cases of that. It happens a lot. Being a bad person at the start and gaining empathy is... Well, it happens in a lot of films, but it is a very Christmassy main character trait, for sure. And Jasper is good. He is good. Like, how he comes around, it feels earned. That's the most important thing. There are so many bad Christmas movies out there, and in most of them, one of my biggest complaints is that the character starts out as bad, becomes good at the end, but it doesn't feel earned. You know? So I feel like that's a very important thing for me. That was what made me love Klaus right away as a film, was that Jasper's redemption really felt earned. I loved that. I want Jeff Bridges as Santa Claus, Mark Maron as the Grinch, Christoph Waltz as a reindeer, and Natalia Gordienko as Frosty the Snowman. Wow. Are We're No Angels here? No, actually. That's a good point. Those are good ones I'm missing. Those three characters are endearing as hell. We're No Angels is a fantastic film. If anybody's not seen it, that is as much of a number one kind of not forgotten about, underrated Christmassy film as I can give you to check out this year. It's from the 50s. Humphrey Bogart's in it. It is incredible. I watch it every year without fail. I love it so much. Back to George Bailey. We got distracted. George Bailey is a wonderful character. He's like, that's where it started. That's where the whole lost their way. Well, no, it started with A Christmas Carol, obviously, but it started becoming more of a trait in other Christmas movies. It's a Wonderful Life, because he's lost his way. George Bailey is not bad. He's not a bad person at the start of the film. In no way does he come off like that. But he very much feels like he's lost his way. He needs his life fixed right at Christmas. It's basically A Christmas Carol. All of these Christmas movies that do that with the main character are basically A Christmas Carol. But that it's so wonderful because you want to see him get back on track from the start. That's why it's different. Generally, it's just, no, he's a bad guy. He's a sucky guy. He lost his way at some point. Not so much with George Bailey. He is wonderful. He needs to be an ass, right? Grand Santa is a riot in Arthur Christmas, and the fact he's a grumpy old man Santa reminds me of Raymond Briggs' Father Christmas. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, there are a few characters we've got from Arthur Christmas here. I think, like, Arthur has to be S. Like, there's nowhere else you could put him. He's unbelievably endearing. He, in a family, a literal family of Santas, he's endearing. That's power. It's wonderful. Santa Claus Coming to Town live action fancast. Okay. All four of them on S tier. Yeah. It is. It's hard to know where to put Malcolm, his dad's called, right? Because he's obviously like a good guy, but he's hanging on way too long, and he should have realized that he should have stepped aside by now as Santa. You know, he's just the definition of boomer. I'll put him on like a B, because all of his intentions are good. He just doesn't want to retire. He doesn't want to give up what he's doing, you know? It's sad. It's more about getting old than anything else, that his whole arc in that film. Watching like the next generation take over, like, it's difficult. Well, it's difficult to imagine. Not quite there yet. Not that old. But yeah, no, it is difficult for him. Steve. Steve. Oh, Steve. I'm gonna have to put Steve like there, right? I do feel like he comes around at the end. But yeah, he's not a good, well, he's not a good guy. And, you know what I mean? Like, he wants to be Santa more than anything. He doesn't actually care about the children, very clearly. He is the villain of this film. As much as he comes around at the end, we don't know. We never had a sequel to Arthur Christmas. They could have done one of those. They could have milked that IP dry. Glad they didn't. Like, it's easy to imagine that he would begin to cause problems again later down the road for Arthur. You know? He's one of those characters who you could definitely see trying to sneaky something. What about Grand Santa? Grand Santa's here as well, right? I've got him somewhere. Where'd he go? I had him, right? Yeah, here he is. Here he is. Grand Santa's just kind of insane. But in a weird way, I think what he was doing, you know, it does seem a lot of the time like it was about having one last ride. He also, like Malcolm, doesn't want to grow old, doesn't want to stop being Santa. He reminisces about those days so much the whole time. But I think a lot of that is about trying to get them back to what Christmas was in his day, you know, and showing them, like, this is why we love doing it. So, I'll give him a B as well, yeah. I feel like Steve is actively bad, whereas those two are both kind of, some of their actions are misguided, but not as way off direction, way off pace as Steve's. Haven't done a BTD6 stream in a while. That's true. That's true. I do need to play more balloons at some point soon. I got a lot of stuff I'm preparing for the new year, but I will maybe fit one in soon. I'll try. Malcolm's voice actor, Jim Broadbent, would later play another version of Santa in the British Christmas movie Get Santa. Oh, that's true, actually. Yeah. Steve is quite rude to his brother, too, until the end. He is, yeah. He's not that nice, just in general. He's much more focused on his own goals than what the meaning of Christmas is and all that, so cheeky boy. Oh, wow, got a whole casting for all the reindeer. Okay. That looks interesting. The teacher in Nativity. I've forgotten his name. Martin Freeman's character. Again, you know, how much can you say he's a good guy? I think the thing about Nativity that a lot of people forget is that the head teacher kind of announces, oh yeah, no, he's going to be doing the school play. And then she gets pissed at him and starts telling him to look for another job when it turns out to be a lie that they're putting on a school play. Like, he told her not to tell anyone. So it's her fault, the head teachers. So he didn't, you know, he was telling a little lie that went out of control, but I could imagine a lot of people acting really similarly in that situation. I don't actually necessarily blame him for all the lies that kind of came from that. Should have come clean earlier, but, like, you know, it's easy to say. I'll give him like a C. I definitely don't think he's as bad as Mr. Poppy. Mr. Poppy's a fucking asshole. Ooh. It's obvious that Bad Santa in the name isn't exactly a good person. Kind of, I want to put him there because I don't want to put him as bad as all of these people, you know. Do you know what the Eurovision Song Contest is? Of course. Oh, you're wondering if I know who Alexander Rybak is. Oh, no, I do. Fairy Tale? Yeah. I still don't think Arthur Christmas has a villain. They all have their own issues. I agree with that, but, like, it's very clear that the issues stem from Steve. Like, it's his fault, you know? At the same time, I don't think their family would have been fixed, and they would have realized the proper path that Arthur needed to be Santa Claus if that hadn't happened, so I know what you mean. It's just a kind of nasty family situation thing, messy, dysfunctional family thing, as many, many Christmas movies are, but I do think Steve is much more of a villainous character in the context of the film than either of them. Oh, and of course we've got Brioni, the elf, who is also an absolute treasure. I'll put her on A. She's obviously not quite as pure as Arthur, but she is a wonderful character, and a hilarious character. I love her. Right. How good a person is John McClane? Because we talked about this with Kevin McAllister. Kevin McAllister's a bastard and just wants to do evil things to people, and it just happens that it was directed at villains, at robbers. Is John McClane just kind of a psychopath who goes looking for these situations? Like, it happened like 4 or 5 times. Does he just want to murder a bunch of people, and he just keeps locking into these places where he can let out that energy without having to kill good people? You know? Would he just turn into a psychopath if we left him long enough without a Die Hard movie? Possibly. However... And he also lets his marriage break up and stays away from his kids all that time before Die Hard because of... just because he's being a pissy little baby, you know? There's always time for a beau. True. And I say, Mama, don't be so down. Oh, no, I don't think I know that song. Bravely the Elf is a character in Arthur Christmas I think is adorable, plus the high-pitched Scottish accent suits your character perfectly. True. Your choice for Spider-Man Noir has a voice which I think sounds like a PE teacher. Okay, yeah, okay. John McClane, I don't think I can put him on like S. He's not like on the endearing level of these characters, obviously. Is he an A? I feel like he's got flaws to the degree that he's a B. Looking at where we've got this list at so far, I feel like these characters are still on A, like, not really flawed. Brioni is an absolute treasure. Gizmo, a paradigm of just loveliness and happiness and adorableness. We've kind of set the bar high for even getting into the A tier, so I've kind of got to leave John on like a B. You could be a terrible person and still be a great character. Oh no, that's true, don't get me wrong. He is a great character. Okay, we'll put him on A. We'll put him on A. We'll put him on A. We've kind of just left S for like such powerfully, incredibly endearing characters. It would feel wrong to put, for instance, Hans Gruber there. And yet, don't you kind of want to? I kind of want to. He's just such a great character. Every line he delivers feels so calculating. He just feels like the ultimate, like, gentleman thief type, and it's so good. It's so good. The fact Seth Rogen voices Santa in Santa Inc. is a strange one, and ironic as Seth Rogen is Jewish. Yeah, that is true. Wow. Cindy Lou Who. Cindy Lou Who. Like, it worked out, you know? In the end, it worked out. She did get the Grinch to have a nice Christmas, and everybody else got to have a good Christmas. Having said that, is she a really great character, or is she an annoying, giggly child? Both? Kind of both. A little bit of both. I'll be kind. I'll give her a B. Yeah. Did you see the Fantastic Four MCU cast leak? I didn't. Are you sure it's real? I feel like is it happened in like the last hour? Because maybe I wouldn't have seen it then. I feel like I probably would have seen it if it had come earlier than that. Which Cindy? That's a fair question. Yeah, we've kind of got 3 versions of the Grinch now. I kind of just have like a picture representing the characters, but like it kind of is meant to cover all. So I guess in the 1966 versions, she's such a... Well, she's barely in it. But she's such a sweet 2-year-old paradigm of good. That she'd be like an S in terms of just endearing, lovely character. In the 2018 version... 2018 and 2000 versions, I probably feel like she averages out more like to a B. So overall, do we put her on an A then? I'll leave her on a B. That's fine. The Grinch is, as a character, just across all 3 versions, is an S. Is an S tier character. Not because he's on the endearing level, but because it's in the 2000 version, he's on the relatable level. You know? Jim Carrey. He says what we're all thinking about modern life, right? About just everything. He's just wonderful. 1966, Boris Karloff's just iconic voice. Delightful. Wonderful. iconic. 2018. I just wish they'd let Benedict Cumberbatch speak in like his normal like British accent. Like, why did he need to be American? There was no reason for that. The Grinch doesn't have a nationality. You know? Doesn't matter. That kind of upset me about it, and it's always upset me about it, but I can still watch it and enjoy it well enough, that version. It's fine. Maybe it's real or rumors. I'd be surprised if it's real. You never know. 2000 Grinch movie is weird in its own right. True. But genius. So good. Harry and Marv. I mean, as characters, just objectively, they are great. They're great characters. That is such a good version of the bossy and submissive, like, duo. It works so well. To the degree that, like, I imagine they, under normal circumstances, would have wanted to do, like, different bandits for the sequel. But they were just such popular characters that they just had to bring them back. It just wouldn't have been the same. And then they made like 4 Home Alone movies since without them, and it wasn't the same. Actually, I tell a lie. Home Alone 4, I only watched it for the first time recently, but in Home Alone 4, the kid is actually Kevin McAllister. And his parents they got divorced, and then there's this royal prince, and Marv is broken out of jail, but has been recast. It's not Daniel Stern. And he's without Harry, and he's got a wife now, and them and his mother are trying to kidnap this royal prince. It's never said which country the prince is from Kevin's stepmother's house, which is basically an Amazon Alexa in 2002. It's awful. But yeah, they made sequels without getting these two ever back together, and none of them were ever good again. But yeah, I'm gonna put them on like A. They are wonderful pair. Incredible pair. Yukon Cornelius. Say less. Say less. You don't need to say anything. I know where he goes. What a treasure. What a national treasure for every country. He's just glorious. Just no matter how many times you watch back that old special, he is still this confusingly wonderful character. Boris Karloff was allowed to use his natural British accent for the Grinch. True. Yeah. That's probably the most offensive thing about it. The Grinch was first time they ever brought him to screen. Very, very British. And very villainously British. So Benedict Cumberbatch's natural voice, like if I was doing a Grinch fan cast, have I done a Grinch fan cast? Oh, I did. I gender bent, used Kate McKinnon, which I'd still stand by. But if I had to cast a guy for it, I would want to cast Benedict Cumberbatch. Even the live action version. But I would want him using his natural voice, because then it would be very reminiscent of like Boris Karloff's voice for the Grinch. Marv is Jewish for diversity reasons. Oh. Not to mention Marv looks like Harry in the 4th movie. Yeah, that's true actually. Yeah, they've recast him, and then they recast someone who looked like the other one. And I got confused. I was like, wait, which one's Marv? Oh god, what? No, that's so wrong. Yeah, terrible. Frosty the Snowman's kind of a demon, right? Especially in that picture, he looks kind of like a demon. But like in general, he just... something innately creepy about that. Watching it back today, like... children give me more life, I'm melting away. I don't know. He just comes to life and it's immediately like, okay, alright. Yeah, they're just having fun, but like, it's kind of demony. Like, if you made that today, it would feel kind of like a horror film. And in fact, Jack Frost, yeah, the horror film one, not the Michael Keaton one. Yeah, true. I mean, he's fine as a character. There's nothing particularly special about him. I'll give him like a C. Frosty is endearing, though. He's kind of endearing, but he's also kind of evil. In a strange, roundabout way, I feel like he's definitely a demon. I'll give him a B. How about that? Scott Calvin. Scott Calvin is a great character. He's a great Santa. Growing up, when I thought about like Santa Claus, I would think of Tim Allen. You know? And if you're mostly talking about the first film, try and just not think about the Santa Claus sequels ever. I mean, he does the thing where he starts out bad. Well, not bad, but like he can't really connect with his son. He is this kind of selfish toy executive because he's just going along with, yeah, let's just make a bunch of money at any cost to children's happiness or whatever. We don't care about that. So, but he kind of comes around so well, and it does feel earned. And then he becomes Santa Claus, so he's incredibly endearing. And he is like a fun version of Santa. I'll give him the A. Yeah. Billy Mack is an S. What a wonderfully conceived character that is. The best conceived character in Love Actually. The best part. Yeah. He's just so incredibly beautiful. Wonderful. Ooh. Mr. Potter. Mr. Potter, the villain of It's a Wonderful Life, if you're confused. It's just an asshole, right? Benedict Cumberbatch is good at playing evil creatures that live in mountains. That's true. That's very true. Yeah. And it is super confusing. He's got like such a naturally great British villain voice. Like, as Khan in Star Trek Into Darkness, as Smaug, like, any role he plays, you'd see it, the pure, like, terror that voice strikes into you. Kind of doing that with the Grinch, but then making him kind of like Mimi, but with that voice, would have been great. I remember when I sat down to watch, like, the 2018 Grinch, I was like, okay, let's go for this, and then immediately I heard his voice and went, oh, no. Well, actually, first time I heard Pharrell Williams narrating it and went, oh, no. But then I heard Benedict Cumberbatch's Grinch voice and I went, oh, no. Yeah. I had high hopes for that version, yeah. Let's not forget that Scott accidentally murders Santa manslaughter. That's true, but if you listen to fan theories, they kind of say, like, maybe that Santa just wanted to get out of there. He didn't actually die. He just escaped, pretended that he died. Because he disappeared, you know? You don't see a corpse. He just disappears. It's like Star Wars, like Obi-Wan just disappeared. He's dead, right? Pretty sure. Who knows? So I've always thought that. I like that fan theory. It was just kind of like, let's trick this guy into thinking that he has to be Santa so that I don't have to do it anymore. Brilliant. It's genius. It's simple. Mr. Potter is obviously a bastard. So we'll put him down here. He's not like a really, really bad character. He's evil. But we can still like them as a character. Like Hans Gruber. But I mean, like, he's a pretty underdeveloped villain when you really think about it. We don't really find out why he is like that or anything, so he's just a prick. Clarence, though. Clarence is an endearing boy. We'll give him an A. He's not quite George Bailey as a character, but like, if you're talking in terms of It's a Wonderful Life, it's got to be right up there. Yeah. True though, Scott does commit, technically, as far as the film is concerned, manslaughter. Should we put him lower for that? Nah, we'll leave him there. It's fine. Jack Frost, very endearing character. Chris Pine, what a voice that man has. I want him to do more voice work. Like, ooh, man's got a sexy voice, you know. He is a great character, and again, he's got that really good thing going on, like George Bailey, where he's not a bad person or spirit or whatever at the start of the film. He's just kind of doing his own thing. He's lonely and he's a little troublesome, but not in like a vindictive way at all. So he's got that journey from being like lost off his path to like finding his way at the end of the film, which is a really nice thing. It's really nice. It's exactly like George Bailey's journey in a lot of ways. Krampus. I don't think that's from the Krampus film. I think that's from, what was it called? A Christmas Horror Story? Yeah, where like Santa had to like fight Krampus and stuff. It was a weird film. But yeah, Krampus in general as a concept, and particularly in the Krampus film. He's kind of just, he's not like actually a villain in a weird way, you know what I mean? Like he's not villainous. He's doing bad things to bad people kind of thing, you know? Some people will call that a hero. So he's a very interesting character. We'll give him a B. We obviously don't love Krampus, but like, he's complicated. He's a lot more complicated than you give him credit for, at least. Sam the Snowman, I mean, iconic. Is he good or evil? I don't know. Give him like a C. It's fine there, yeah. Luther Crank, Tim Allen's other Christmas character, is definitely much worse in general. Not lovable, no. The thing about him is he's so viciously guilt-tripped at the end, particularly by his wife, into doing something good, that when he does it, everyone's like, oh, you've been redeemed. But it's like, no. Because like 10 minutes from the end of the film, he's still being a dickhead. Like, he's not redeemed over the course of the film. The thing I'm always confused about with Christmas with the Cranks is that, what was he like before this? Did he really like Christmas? Because, like, he's so horribly, vindictively against Christmas this whole film that it's hard to see him being nice and putting up all the decorations and enjoying time with all the neighbors and all their friends every other year. He just seems like such a dick. It's always been a difficulty for me, so I'm going to put him on like an E. Ugh. Jack Skellington. How much do we like Jack Skellington as a character? Like, again, he's kind of, you know, a bit of a dick. Just most of the way through the film, he goes, oh, yeah, Sally, no, I totally love you. Loved you this whole time, absolutely. That never seemed to be what he cared about. For me, I felt invested in the Jack-Sally romance from Sally's perspective. From Jack's perspective, I never once thought he actually gave a shit. So that's always kind of turned me off him as a character a bit, you know? It's kind of fun seeing him be like, oh, what's this? What's this? But like, I'll give him a D. Gonna be harsh. Gonna be harsh on him. Oof. Fred Claus. Don't put Vince Vaughn in Christmas movies. Why? They've done that multiple times. Why? He's not the right person for a Christmas movie. I don't care what anyone says. Let's just take every Vanessa Hudgens character from The Princess Switch and the sequels. So 3. There's 3 different Vanessa Hudgens characters. I'm amazed that the third one didn't introduce another one. How much do I care? Not a lot. Not a lot in general. Arnold Schwarzenegger's character in Jingle All the Way. This is an interesting one to me. Because I watched that film again recently, and his wife in the film comes to him on the evening of the 23rd of December. And she says, did you get the doll? Did you get the doll for our son, the most important Christmas gift for him? Did you do that? Did you pick that up? I told you 2 weeks ago to go pick that up. 2 weeks ago is the 9th of December. Okay? Now this is a kind of fan theory I've been thinking of, right? Like, they were talking in the store when he goes in the film, like it had been sold out, that toy, for like months. Like, oh, you haven't been able to get one anywhere for ages. Do they really mean 2 weeks there? I don't think so. I think she went out, bought all the other Christmas presents. She doesn't talk about him needing to pick up any other Christmas presents. Isn't that suspicious that she picked up all the other Christmas presents, but not this one, the most important one, the thing her son wants above everything else? I think she went. She tried. She realized she'd left it too late. At like the start of December. It's already too late because it's such a popular toy. And then she went, yeah, could you go get that? Knowing that he was never going to have a shot. That bitch. Him as a character, I don't feel like he's a great father. He feels very absentee fatherish, and then he tries to kind of make up for it with this one grand gesture, and probably goes back to being a fairly absentee father after that, if we're being honest with ourselves. So not great. Not a great character, probably, really. I never really feel like, yeah, he's being redeemed at the end. It's just kind of, oh, he dressed up as a superhero, so now his son likes him again. Jack is somewhat relatable as he's suffering through a midlife crisis. True, except he's not alive anymore. He died. Yeah. Kurt Russell Santa Claus. Christmas Chronicles Santa Claus. Good Santa. Not as endearing as Santa can be, but I mean, nobody really beats, like, Miracle on 34th Street Santa. But certainly a great version of him. He's very fun. We'll put him on... We've got to give him the A, right? I'll give him an A. He does deserve that much. He sings the song and it's great. In jail, it's fantastic. I love that. I love that film a lot. The sequel, less so. He just becomes like a Jedi and it's weird. Oogie Boogie. Oogie Boogie's a very underdeveloped character, right? Like, anybody else think that? Yeah, I definitely do. I feel like there's some interest in the character, but not a lot, really. I'm on like a D. You know. The Snowman. I've never really liked The Snowman that much. I don't really love the song. The animation's nice, but I don't find it that interesting to look at. I don't, you know, people talk about it as being like hauntingly beautiful, and I go, is it? Is it though? What is so great about it? This snowman comes along, kidnaps this child, and then takes him away flying, brings him back, and then that's it. I just, you know, I'll give him a C. Okay, I'll just put him there. He doesn't seem that good or that evil. I don't care about him that much. I'll just put him there, okay? This little fucker, Ralphie, right? Ralphie from A Christmas Story. Yeah, I'm not a huge Christmas Story fan either, actually. Yeah, like there. Let's not forget that there was a standalone sequel to Jingle All the Way starring Larry the Cable Guy. Yeah, watched it, hated it, not good, very, very bad. Plus Oogie Boogie has a lot of flamboyant energy for a villain as sinister as him. Yeah, right? It's strange. I don't feel like I know really what the character's meant to be. He's there to sing a song and be a evil thing in their way. Like, what's that, you know? Jasper, then, from Klaus, does have a great redemption arc and story and comes around so good at the end. Overall, as a character, you gotta, when you really feel like one has really earned that, like, turnaround, that redemption, they do become very endearing. So I'll put him up on A. He's not as endearing as Klaus himself, who's obviously a treasure and goes on S. So it's sad. It's so sad in such a great way. Where would Pitch Black be? I feel like Pitch Black's quite an interesting villain, but again, you don't find out his backstory in the film, or like why he is the way he is. So I'd probably put him on like maybe a B, maybe as high as a B. Yeah. The kid from Love Actually. I mean, he's kind of breaks a lot of laws, you know, running through the airport in his obsession of this girl. And it works out because she likes him. But that's an interesting thing. In all of these, a lot of romance films, the things that people do, normally guys, chasing after girls, would be terrifyingly creepy and could so easily be turned into a horror film just from the simple thing of the girl not liking him. You know? In that situation, he had zero clue whether Joanna liked him or not. And he chased her through an airport and stopped her at the gate to say, oh, I love you. Putting her in an incredibly awkward situation since she was coming back a month later. It worked out. But it would have been incredibly creepy if it hadn't, yeah. Anyway, he's a delightful character. I didn't put Liam Neeson's character here, but those two together is probably... It's the segment, because it's the segment that if you had to turn one segment from that into a full film, it would be that one, right? That's the most original kind of idea there is there. So I'll give him like he is endearing as fuck. I'll give him an A, okay? Why am I blanking on his name? He's not Santa. I'll Be Home for Christmas. What was his name in that? It's Jonathan Taylor Thomas in I'll Be Home for Christmas. He's the lead in that. And again, kind of a trashy film. It's a pretty trashy film. It is a nice film. I watched it recently for the first time, actually. And I don't feel like it's something I need to watch every year, but if you put it on again, I'd be like, yeah, okay. And it's a nice road trip film about this guy who wants, like, his dad basically promises him if he gets home on Christmas Eve in time for dinner, then he'll give him his Porsche. So then he's going home so he can get the Porsche. But by the time he gets there, he doesn't even want it, because he's come around, and again, feels like that turnaround is deserved. I always kind of wish they'd made this film 10 years earlier with, like, Michael J. Fox in the 80s, than 10 years later, but, like, it's still good. So, I'll give him a B. Yeah. Buddy the Elf. How good a person is Buddy the Elf? You know? He insults short people. He eats a terrible diet and has awful table manners. Beats the shit out of some children with snowballs. Really disturbs his father. Just bumbles into his dad's life and expects to be given a place to stay and all of this, you know? Yeah, it's difficult. I don't think he's that good a person. Do I like Buddy the Elf? Somewhat. Not hugely. I feel like he gets like a C, you know? He's not Will Ferrell's greatest buddy. It kind of worked. Yeah. Not... Well, no, I do feel like there's other people that could have pulled it off as well. Maybe better. Honestly. If I really sit down and think about it, like... Because he was meant to be, like, more endearing, right? He was meant to be, like, an endearing character. And I feel like he could have come off as more endearing, played by somebody else, you know? Oh, I need to sort out my notifications. YouTube notifications for my streams have been super weird for a little while now, I think. I don't know why, but if you guys haven't, like, clicked the bell on the notification thing, like, if you click the bell, it'll give you the option to, like, get alerts, which should always work if you have the bell on all. I don't know for sure. It might be messing those up anyway. Sally... Like, yeah, I feel sorry for Sally. Do I like her? Do I care about her? I kind of, when it's from her perspective, like, I want her to get with Jack. But does that make her a great person? That she's trapped in love with someone? That she's enslaved? None of this necessarily makes her a great person or a character I really, really care about. But I do want to see things happen for her in a way I don't care about things happening for Jack as much. So I'll give her a C. You didn't get a notification, Adam? Strange. I'll have to try and sort those out. Who's on F? Oh, Kevin McAllister, Buzz McAllister, Uncle Frank, all from Home Alone, Mr. Poppy from Nativity, and Harry, the bastard, from Love Actually. Of course, there is the stop-motion remake of Elf that has Jim Parsons as Buddy. Yeah, I still haven't seen that. I don't know if I want to. It's just the same story, right? Like, of him coming to New York and finding his family. What was... Like, how does that justify its own existence? You know, I'm wondering. It was like 15 years after the original, and the original is still hugely popular. Why did that need remade? Where did the Muppets go? Well, I've got Bob, well, Kermit as Bob here, and he's very endearing and lovely, and he sings the One More Sleep Till Christmas song, so we gotta put him on A. He's not as endearing as Tiny Tim in general, but Bob Cratchit as a character, in the Muppet sense and in a wider sense, all versions of him are great. If you were putting some of the other characters, which include the Muppet versions of them here, you know, Miss Piggy would be slightly lower because she's terrifying. She'd be like a B. I don't know what there's not that many important characters in The Christmas Carol, really. The Ghost of Christmas Past, that little girl ghost, for instance, in Muppet's Christmas Carol would be like a C. I don't really give a shit about her. Ghost of Christmas Present, oh, like an ass. Ghost of Christmas Yet to Be, I don't give a shit about him. I don't know. It doesn't make me care about him. Like a D, you know. Can't disagree too much, though Kevin is annoying but brilliant. Yeah, I know what you mean, but like he's objectively evil. Think about the sequel. The sequel, he literally could have called the cops. Like, he knew they were going to that store at that time on Christmas Eve. He could have called the cops. Like, he got scared of the cops. The first film. and he wanted to defend his own house or whatever. Weird twisted sense of redneck justice, fine. Sequel? No. He just vindictively wanted to injure those men. So, you know, Gonzo and Rizzo and Marley. Oh, well, Jacob Marley as a character in general is kind of a dick. He's kind of a dick. He's kind of a dick about the whole thing. He kind of needs to be, but, like, he's got the three spirits to come and do that for him. Like, he's just being, like, a bit of a prick, trying to scare Scrooge, you know? Having said that, Marley and Marley, as in the Muppets, hilarious. Hilarious banter. And Gonzo and Rizzo are genius level. Yeah, they'd have to be, like, A-tier characters, right? Walter from Elf. See, I never really felt like his redemption was earned, you know? He's such a dickhead, and then he just suddenly goes, "No, fuck it, I'm going with my son." But is that just because, like, his bosses were so demanding that he knew he was going to get, like, fired anyway? Because, like, they were just so constantly unhappy with everything. Like, he just kind of went, I can't be bothered anymore. Not necessarily in a, I'm a good guy now way. Just, like, I kind of want to do something else and get really into that job kind of way. You know, you never really know if he's actually decided he's going to be good now. There's no real follow-up to that. He goes with his son and tries to, like, support him there at that moment, which is nice. Does he go back to being kind of a dick next week when he gets a new job? Probably. Seems like a guy just very involved in his work. I'll give him, like, a D. I've never loved him as a character. Zooey Deschanel is why I watch Elf. I don't know about you guys. I love her character. I think she's so delightful. Buddy is fine as a character, you know. She is a great character. She's not... Yeah, I mean, she doesn't have enough screen time, realistically, for us to be like, oh, she is, like, objectively, like, a great person. She seems like a nice person. That's as far as we can get with that, really. I'll give her, like, I'll give her an A. Got a lot of A's. Yeah. I'm struggling to remember her name. Wait, it's going to come to me. It's not... Ginny Granger. One Magic Christmas. I put this in for a very special reason. One Magic Christmas isn't a film I particularly love personally. But, like, it's one that I know a lot of people that are really on board with it. And Ginny is, like, she's that harried mum who has all these problems and then comes good at the end. She's essentially the closest we've ever gotten to, like, a female George Bailey, I think of her as. And I don't love the film. But she is objectively a very strong character. So I'll give her an A. Yeah. That feels right. Mary Steenburgen is great. Cousin Eddie. A character that a lot of people love from... I don't know why. I don't really know why. No. Just leave him there. Now, these are characters more specific to only one version of the Grinch. Best version of the Grinch. Don't have me. Alright. The mayor. What a dick. What a great dick, right? Yay, good A. Yeah. Don't mess with Miss Piggy is all I can say because of her temper. True. Statler and Waldorf. I always forget their names. Statler and Waldorf. That's the two old guys in the Muppets that did Marley and Marley in the Muppets Christmas Carol. I always forget their names. Yeah, obviously the mayor is kind of a villain, not a very well-developed one. He was a chubby kid who was jealous, was a dickhead to the Grinch then, and he's still doing the same thing now. So as a character, he has no development. No. He does kind of get, well, cucked. Basically, his role is as a cuck. That's why he's there. We'll put him on E. Yeah, dick. Horrible dick. Martha... Does she love the Grinch or is she just a furry? We'll never know. We'll never know. Like, she gasps when she sees the car. She seems pretty close to taking the mayor's deal simply because she is that level of materialistic that a brand new car and a nice ring would be enough to just, yeah, I'll marry you for that. Fuck it. You know, and yeah, so I can't say that I love her as a character. I can't say that I look at her and go, yeah, it's Martha, go Martha. She's very materialistic. Probably really just wants to be as big a bitch as Grinch is a bastard to everybody, right? Just wants to be able to get away with that. So she's like, if I hook up with the Grinch, I can do that, right? Just saying, you know? So, I'll give her a D. I'm not going to put her really low, but I don't think she deserves very high. No. She's a funny character, but not one that I like, you know? Santa with Muscles is a weird movie. Oh, that's the one with Hulk Hogan, right? Yeah. Multiple movies where wrestlers, not actors, play Santa Claus that I have seen fairly recently, and that are just obviously god-awful in every way. You wonder why they do such a thing. I don't know. Ear F for the Who's in live-action movie because all are asses who need told what Christmas is about. That's true. Yeah. In the live-action movie, they very much were, right? They all kind of, in the animated versions, seem to just come together and be like, yeah, well, we don't need that stuff. But not in the live-action one. The Who's are bastards. Hugh Grant's character, David, the Prime Minister in Love Actually, is great. He's great. He stands up for his country against the vile might of the evil American president. He dances around 10 Downing Street in a way that we would all love to do at some point. And he doesn't outright tell anybody not to call Natalie fat, actually. He is just kind of lusting after this girl half his age the whole film. We'll give him a nice score. We'll give him like a B, right? I'm not going to put him on A after thinking about that too much. Hi, Rye. I'll do. How's it going? We've still got a couple characters from The Holiday. Jude Law, like, I don't know, I'd get pretty pissed at like one of my brothers if they were banging on my door 1 a.m., especially after I'd tried to tell them that I was going across the world to like exchange houses with somebody. So he is just banging on her door like 1 a.m. drunk. Then he realizes his mistake, that it's not his sister in the house there, and then barges in to use the toilet anyway. That's true. To be fair, he's a single father, good guy, very good guy in every other way. Just kind of a little bit rude at times, you know? But we'll give him... Where did I put them? I put them both on B. I'll give him a C. He is 2006 Jude Law, though. I mean, look at him. We'll give him a B. And Jack Black. I mean, Jack Black, that is probably one of the best, like, serious role. Is that... serious-ish roles he's ever done. Because The Holiday is comedic, but it's not like a madcap comedy, like most of what Jack Black stars in. Things like that, and Jumanji, I guess, are where he actually shows off, like, his heartfelt side, and it's really good when he does it. He might have done it in other films as well, and they're bad, but yeah. Why not the old Grinch? Animated Grinch sucks. Oh, animated Grinch does suck. No, I agree. I just took the first, like, square picture of Grinch I could find. It's kind of just meant to be representative of every version, you know. One last animated character, Rudolph. True. How good a character is Rudolph? Just a very traditional, we're meant to feel sorry for you and like you because you got bullied as a kid character. And then you grew up to be useful. Not out of any particular talent, just out of your natural ability of having this red nose. So, I mean, isn't the story more about everyone else's redemption as opposed to Rudolph having any character at all? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? At least in the new one, the only person needed to be told is the young kid. That's true, yeah. My fave Jack Black movie is School of Rock. That's fair. That's fair, yeah. Have you heard of Bernard the Brown-Nosed Reindeer? He's the one right behind Rudolph. He can run as quick, but doesn't stop as fast. I think I've maybe heard of... I don't know. Maybe, yeah. You know what? I'll give Rudolph like a B. I don't feel like there's anything that special about the character. We feel sorry for him more than we like him for anything he's done. You know? Jack Black's character in The Holiday is good. He's probably the most likable one as a character out of the 4 of the leads in that film. I'll give him an A. Yeah. And then these two. Now, I didn't put other versions of Scrooge in. Why? Well, much like I just put Kermit in to represent all Bob Cratchits, and I can never remember his name, him in to represent all Tiny Tims. I put in Michael Caine from Muppets Christmas Carol to kind of represent all Ebenezer Scrooges. This is not Ebenezer Scrooge. This is Frank Cross. So he is a different character. The whole point of it is the same thing, and Frank Cross is a marvelous character. Some of Bill Murray's best work, because he's really one of the most savage versions of Scrooge there are. The funniest version of Scrooge there is. And his redemption feels, I wouldn't say the most earned out of any version of Scrooge, but I would say it's a really fun journey. I just love Scrooged in general. I think it's a great film. And I'll give him, I'm tempted, I'll give him an A. I'll just go A. I was tempted to go S, because he is a great character, truly. Rudolph has a son in the British stop-motion Christmas movie Robbie the Reindeer. Not sure I want to watch that. Really? Okay. That Tiny Tim is Kermit's nephew, Robin. Robin is his name. Thank you. Yes. Ebenezer Scrooge. I'm talking every version. Where does Ebenezer Scrooge go? He is the Christmas character. I mean, Santa Claus, fair. But, like, A Christmas Carol is so important to all Christmas films. It's so important. Does Peter Pan count as a Christmas movie? No. Why would Peter Pan count as a Christmas movie? What? No. Ebenezer Scrooge is just... He is a very well-developed character in most versions of the tale. If we're looking at this one specifically, I mean, Michael Caine as Scrooge is wonderful. Michael Caine is one of my favorite versions of Scrooge. He's my favorite version of Scrooge, yeah. He is so good at it, and he really does feel like a true bastard at the start, and feels like he's come so good at the end, and it feels so well earned, that journey. And it usually does. I don't think there's many really bad versions of A Christmas Carol out there. The old versions, great, well done. The 2009 Jim Carrey animated one, great, well done. This, great, well done. Where does Scrooge go as a character? Okay, I'll give him the S. As a character, he's so well developed. He's not one of the most endearing characters, but he is. You literally see everything about like his past in Muppets Christmas Carol at least, and it's so well. He's so well rounded. You really see why he got to this stage, how he got there, and then he comes back around from it, and it's great. I love Scrooge as a character. It looks Christmassy when they go to the grandparents' house. In Peter Pan? I don't think it's a Christmas movie, no. Caine's version is the best. Yep. I second that. Have you ever been to a Christmas pantomime? Not in a long time. I used to go to ones with, like, school most years, but been a while. Been a while since I was in school. But anyway, there you guys go. Yeah, we got a pretty good list there, I feel. It's, I don't know, maybe, okay, you know what? There. Because he's funny, as much as he's also a savage bastard, and a horrible person most of the time. Okay? But yeah, I do feel like that's pretty fair. I didn't put every character in from a lot of these films, but you get the gist, Worst character in Love Actually. Best character in Love Actually. Very good character in Love Actually. You dropped out of high school. I did not. No. I finished high school and university. And then chose to do this, which is... It's a questionable decision, but we'll see if it pays off, eh? Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. This is... it's the week of Christmas now, so I think this is our last Christmassy tier list. But let me know what non-Christmassy tier list you guys want to see in the new year. I'm only away back home for a few days for Christmas, but I probably won't be able to stream next Monday, so I probably won't do another tier list until the new year. But let me know what you want to see, because you can do a tier list on anything as long as there's like at least 20 entries in whatever category it is. You can do anything. Goodbye, Halloween. Halloween. Well, we'll do Halloween-related ones when we get around to October again, but yeah, sure. But for now, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I will be on stream. I think I'll be on tomorrow and probably Wednesday. I don't know what we're playing, but I've got plans for the new year. Tune in for those. You'll see what it is at the time. I don't want to spoil anything, but thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you later.